Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kathleen. For the new members, hit the subscription button and hit the notification bell so that the next time we go online, you can be able to get the alert. For my subscribers, I appreciate you so much. I appreciate the feedback. I appreciate the suggestion. I appreciate your likes and shares. Now, in today's gang series, we focus in Mombasa County. And the question is, did you know that Mombasa County alone has more than 43 gangs or more than 43 illegal groups? So in this gang series, episode 6, we are only going to highlight some of the gangs in Mombasa County. It came to me as a surprise because, yes, I know that since 2010, the number of gangs in the country has been increasing. When the Prevention of Organized Crime Act 2010 was passed, we had only 33 illegal groups in the country. But as at 2019, the country had around 326 gangs. Now, I was mapping these gangs in every county across the country, and I realized that Mombasa County alone has about 43 gangs. So in today's gang series, we are going to find out who are these gangs of Mombasa County, and perhaps we could find out what could inform the presence of these gangs in the region before we narrow down to look at one gang after the other. Now, Mombasa County has the following counties among others. We have Wachuku Wapipi, we have Mawayo, we have Spiders, we have Chaff and Temeke, we have Wakware Babes, and Wakali Babes is unique because it is only made up of women. So for all of us who always tend to regard women as victims of violence or as individuals who cannot come up with their own all-female gang, the Wakware Babes is a very good example of an all-female gang in Mombasa County. And one of these fine days in our gang series, we are going to discuss Wakware Babies, and we see who are they, how do they come up, and what ideology do they stand for, and so forth. Then another one we have is Wakali Wao, and we also have Gaza. Now, in our last episode of gang series, we discussed about Gaza, and we discussed the Gaza of Nairobi. So I have not established whether the Gaza of Nairobi is the same Gaza of Mombasa County, whether it's an outgrowth from Nairobi to Mombasa or it's a shell or an extension. I've not established that. So when I sit to do my research, I'll be able to find out whether the Gaza of Mombasa is the same Gaza, is the same as the Gaza of Nairobi. And if I realize that they are not the same, then I will be able to find out why are they different and why do they share the same name but different modes of operation perhaps and different localities. And then if they are the same, I'll want to know how did it extend to Mombasa? What actually informed that? So for the Gaza of Mombasa County, what I can say is at the moment, I don't exactly know whether it is the same as the Gaza of Nairobi. So once I have completed my research and investigation about the same, I'll be able to outrightly say that the Gaza of Mombasa is this and this. And then we have another one called the 64 gang. We also have the Crazy Boys. We have the Memory Gang. We have Vietnam. We have Spanish Sparta. We have the Congo by Force. We have Wachuku Waumbwa. We have the Yuang Tags. Then we have Akili za Usiku. We have Wakali Kweli. We have Wakali Kwanzaa. We have Wakali Che. Then you realize that if you look at these groups, most of the names that these groups have taken, they have taken the Swahili names: Wakali Kwanzaa, Wakali Che, Wakali Wao, Wachuku Wapipi, Wakwale Babes, and so forth. So it is an indicator of gangs that are trying to identify themselves with the location within which they operate, the language within around the area. Like, we all understand that Swahili is a major language of communication in the coastal part of Kenya. So the gangs in the region have tried to embrace the names that are derived from Swahili to have that sense of belonging. And in a way, when you look at these names, actually they are like communicating something. A name like Wakali literally means the fierce one. All I can say, like, they are the most feared one. Like, they are not the ones that are lenient. So Wakali Kwanzaa means the most feared. All the fiancé number one is just only tries to communicate the nature of the group we are talking about in terms of the operation or in terms of the activities. Then when you find a group like Wakali Kweli, like, truly they are defiance, or truly they are feared. And then when you look at a group like Wachukuu wa Umbwa, so we all understand that Umbwa is a dog, and dogs, we know dogs as animals that we use for security, and sometimes they can be very fearful when it comes to attacking intruders. So when we say Wachukuu wa Umbwa, we are basically saying that the grandchildren of a dog. So you see, a snake's child is a snake's child, and therefore a doggy's child or a doggy's grandchild is a dog, because if the dog is known for its ability to attack intruders and ensure security in the region, in the homestead, it's the same thing that the gang by this name is trying to communicate, that they can be able to attack intruders. But now we do not know exactly who are the intruders and what exactly do they stand for, and how did they come about with this name. How did they end up calling themselves Wachukuu wa Umbwa and so forth. So such are some of the things when we'll be looking at the gang in our gang series, we are going to look at and find out exactly how comes they came up with the word Wachukuu wa Umbwa and not another. And then there's another one called Akili za Usiku. This just means the night minds or the night brains. So the question is, what do they do at night? Does it mean that actually they operate at night, they are very active at night? What exactly does Akili za Usiku as a name of a gang in the region actually communicate to the outside world? And I'm highlighting these names I'm looking at these names because when you look at gangs and terror groups, they normally, the names that they give or they identify with actually has a very, very big meaning or has a very significant meaning to the outside world. Like, it's a way of communicating, and within that name defines their operations, their way of doing things, and so forth. So when we see a name like Akili za Usiku, then we would want to find out why Akili za Usiku and not Akili za Mchana, or why not Akili za siku. Like, why specifically usiku? Why Akili za Usiku? Why not miguu ya usiku, and so forth? So such are the things that we are going to look at when we will be looking at the gang series, and specifically explore each of these gangs in Mombasa County in our ongoing discussions. And then another one that actually caught my attention is Wachukuu wa Bibi. And I was like, Wachukuu wa Bibi, it means that the grandchildren of Shosho or the grandchildren of Nyanya. Bibi is a grandmother in Swahili. So we want to know why exactly Wachukuu wa Bibi and how do they operate. And if we put it in the African context, you'll find that our grandmothers are very good when it comes to suiting our children. Like, we all want to be with our grandmothers because they will always protect us, they will always give us nice things, they will always kututendekeza as compared to our mothers and fathers. So when a gang takes the name like Wachukuu wa Bibi, what exactly do they mean? So we are going also to look at that. What is Wachukuu wa Bibi? Why not another Wachukuu wa Babu? Why exactly Bibi? Why are they identifying themselves with a woman? Bibi is Nyanya. Nyanya is basically a female, old human being, like a grandmother. So a grandmother is a female, is always a female. So we want to know, why are they identifying themselves with a female and not another, maybe Wachukuu wa Babu and so forth. And of major significance one is the Wakali babies. Wakali babies, we are going to look at them and we are going to find out, why are they only women? Why? Exactly why? What is driving them? And it is coming at a time when the world is raising eyebrows concerning the presence of women violent actors. Are we moving from the passive dichotomy, from the passive as approach of women in violence and terrorism and gangs, to active approach? And in this world, in this case, what happens of the passive and active dichotomy? Was it actually a reality in itself right from the beginning, or it's just a stereotype that actually the world has had concerning the participation of women in violence and terrorism? And how comes, if women are coerced actors, if women are passive actors, how do we find that now we have a group like Wakali babies that is only made up of women, and it's a gang, it's an illegal criminal gang? Who is their patron, and how did they come decide like, now we women, let's come together and make this group? So Wakali babies is going to be a very, very nice discussion for us because it is challenging the status quo. The group is challenging the existing stereotypes concerning the participation of women in violence and terrorism. So I believe that is going to be one of the groups discussion that is going to be an eye-opener even in our security setup. How do we treat women when it comes to security checkups, to security checkpoints, to even when we are carrying out operations? How do we look at a woman? Do we look at her as a victim? Do we look at her as a vulnerable individual? Or do we look at her as another human being that actually can be both the oppressor and the oppressed? So we are going to look at that. And then another one group that we are going to look at into details is Wakali Kwanzaa. When you look at Wakali Kwanzaa, it is a group that has terrorized the coastal region for a long time now, and it is unique in its way of operation, and it just began as a simple football group, or a football club for the young men in Mombasa, but it later on metamorphosized, all evolved to be a criminal gang that it is today. So I don't want to preempt more about Wakali Kwanzaa, because Wakali Kwanzaa forms the next gang that we are discussing in Gang Series episode 7. So stay tuned for Gang Series episode 7, where we'll be discussing Wakali Kwanzaa, and Gang Series episode 8, where we'll be talking about Wakali babes, as we proceed with other groups. But the question is, the presence of over 43 groups in Mombasa County, of course I've not mentioned all of them. The presence of 43 groups, over 43 illegal groups in Mombasa County, is something that actually should raise the eyebrows of another citizen who is concerned about his or her security. And not only the government agents alone, or all the police officers alone, but you as a citizen who is concerned about your security. You should be worried that Mombasa County alone has 43 at least 43 illegal groups. So what does that imply with the entire country? And remember, when I started the video, I said as at 2019 we had 326 gangs. So, and like, this is a very fast rate of gangs growth rate in the country, because in 2010 we had only 33. Imagining 26 minus 33, it's over 209 something gangs within a span of around 11 years. So that's not a rate to be proud of as a country, but we should be able to ask ourselves, why is it that we have so many gangs that are actually expanding or emerging in the country at a very fast rate? For me, what I could say is that we need to sit as a country and find out exactly where it started pitting us. Because if gangs continue to emerge and grow in this manner, we are going to have a gang nation, like a vigilante nation, a nation governed by vigilantes. And such a state is going to throw the country into a state of fragility and anarchy, because these gangs are not out to do something good. No, they are out there to cause havoc. They are out there to destroy property. They are out there to kill. They are out there to rob. They are out there to cause violence and to harm people who are even harmless or people who are innocent. So the question is, what should we do? As a country, we need actually to find out what's actually happening. Are we being too lenient on gangs, or is there security lapse within our system? Is there morals and factuals and raps within our society? Is everybody in the society, each stakeholder in the society, I mean the parents, the fathers, the daughters, the sons, is everybody doing what they are expected to do? Even when you're talking about the church, are they doing, and the religion, like our religious institutions, are they doing what they are supposed to do actually, or they are also promoting gangs and violence in the world, so all in our country? So we really need to look at what's the role of our religious institutions, what's the role of our parents, what's the role of the government. Because the rate at which, if we have one county with 43 gangs, and imagine 2 counties, for example, if each county could have at least 40, 2 counties have 80 gangs, do we even have non-governmental organizations that offer jobs and basic services to the people up to 43 in one single county? I meant to understand the answer is no. So I believe that we need to do a lot in terms of youth empowerment. We need to realize that what the society has set toward attaining success and richness, which is the dream of everybody in the society, actually the affordable means to achieve that is not equally distributed among the people. And you realize that the youth consist the majority of this nation, but unfortunately the youth have less resources, or the youth have less opportunities for growth and attaining that which the society has set as a goal. And I think that discrepancy between what the society has set and the means to achieving those goals is one of the reasons that is informing actually the high growth of gangs in the country, because the gangs are just a society of their own. They come up with their own society, they set their own goals, and they put their own means to achieving those goals. So every gang member has an equal opportunity to assess the means that they have set to achieve the goals that the group has set. So you realize that the latter society is becoming so hostile to the common youth that these youths have to form their own small society in form of gangs to achieve what they have set for themselves, using the goals that they have set for themselves. Then we really need to improve the economies. And for example, like the coastal part of Kenya. The coastal part of Kenya is the gateway of our country. And I believe that for us to really make good use of the youth in the coastal part of Kenya, to rescue the youth of the coastal region from radicalization, from gangs, from drug and substance use, we really need to improve the coastal economy. Like, we really need to make the coastal region a place where a common youth can start business and progress. We need to make business doing in the region easy for the common youth. We need to open rooms for employment. Why can't we have these youths in for example, the standard railway gauge. Why can't we have these youths in the port, for example? Because it's the gateway of Kenya. These resources are situated within their region. Why can't we incorporate them? For example, why can't we come up with activities, maybe even agriculture, and make agriculture youth friendly, pump money into it, give them the resources that they need, and make them busy. In this way, you will not find somebody seated and maybe in a pace waiting for the boys to come and engage in drug use and decide on how to attack Mama Mboga in the evening and take away some 20 bob that this lady has worked for the whole day. So I believe there's also need to improve the economy, and I keep on saying that yes, the youth of this country don't engage in crime simply because they want to wake up one day and engage in crime. No, sometimes the economic situations of this country are driving the youth into criminality, and the only way we are going to solve this problem is to empower the youth and make sure that we have improved in our economy, that it is youth friendly. No person wakes up in the morning and says, today I want to become a gang member. No, we have push factors that pushes these people to that corner of coming up with their own society and seeking for a sense of belonging and sense of comfort in these gangs. So I believe if we improved our economy, we will do away with the economics of violence in this country. And finally, this need to have more effective and efficient community policing, because having 43 groups in a county, it tells me like in every small shopping center, maybe we have 1 or 2 gangs that are operating in there. And it raises the question of community policing, how effective it is. Is really community policing doing the work that it's supposed to do? So it is a call that we need to restore the trust that is lost between the public and the police to effectively improve the community policing. It will be very difficult for a citizen to go and report to the police officer that, you know, we have such and such a group of young men and women in our estate, and they are kind of terrorizing people, they are thieves, they are robbing people, and so forth. When already there's that aspect of mistrust, because sometimes the public feels like the police are intimidating them. On the other hand, the police also feel that the public betrays them. So how do we preach this trust? So we need first to restore the trust between the public and the police. And then that way we can be able to improve community policing. Because community policing takes the roles, the responsibilities, and the duties of both the common citizen, the government agencies, the county administrators, and so forth, to make sure that actually we have informed community policing and we are all working towards ensuring security and stability within our regions. So that is all for today. The 43 gangs of Mombasa County, I rated, I think, 18 of them, and there are others, so you can make more research and more studies, and you can also visit the crime center for research, and you realize you will find all those other groups there. But for today, that is all for the gang series, episode 6, where we are looking at the gangs in Mombasa County. So let's meet next time as we discuss Wakali Kwanzaa gang from Mombasa County. Thank you so much, and kindly share this video, like, and subscribe.